The purpose of this lab is to see if we can determine some type of a trend for the reactivity of various metals. When we look at the periodic table, we want to identify some type of a trend. So remember, on the staircase, on the left-hand side of the staircase, we have the metals except hydrogen. But we want to look at and see if we can determine some type of trend for reactivity. Where are our most reactive metals and our least reactive metals? So as we look from left to right or top to bottom, we want to try to see what the trend is, which metals would be the most reactive. So in this experiment, we're going to test 3 metals. Okay, we're going to test aluminum, which is number 13 right there, and right across from it, we're going to look at magnesium. So they're in the same period, So we want to see if the right or the left is more reactive on the periodic table. And then I have purposefully chosen a compound that has calcium in it. So we're going to test calcium, which is right underneath magnesium. They're in the same family, and see if we can identify some type of reactivity of these metals from the same family. So when we look at the bottom to top or top to bottom, which one is most reactive? So use your observation skills to try to determine what is going on in each experiment. As we test each one in water, we're going to test them in water and see if we can determine a reaction and see which one is most reactive. Now, as part 1 of our experiment, we're going to be adding to our water a solution called phenolphthalein. Phenolphthalein, it's an indicator solution. Indicator means it changes colors in the presence of an acid or a base. In this case, it's going to be a base. So it's a clear solution. Okay, we're going to add a few drops to the water. It's not going to react with the substance that we're looking at, but it will change colors if it detects the presence of a base. So it's going to change to the color pink. So if there's a base in the solution, it will change to color pink. If it's an acid or neutral, nothing's going to happen. So initially, it should be in water, which is neutral, shouldn't change colors when we add the drops. And then we will add the metal of interest, which we're going to react with water and see if there is a change. So we're going to try to see if there's a chemical change going on and how fast the reaction might be occurring, which is more reactive, which is least reactive. So we want to find and collect evidence on that. Now, the darker the pink, the stronger the base. And there's different shades of pink, okay? It can be very clear pink or it can be very dark pink. So we want to look for use our observation skills carefully to try to see which metal is reacting more. Look for evidence of bubbles formation, maybe heat developing, and that sort of thing. Once you have collected all the evidence for this experiment, then go ahead and try to determine a trend. See if you can determine a trend to where the most reactive metals are on the periodic table. Good luck.